gonna try to keep this like very simple. A week ago, we all stopped streaming during the last day of our marathon that we were doing. Like, I know a lot of people thought, oh, we're trying to make this a joke or whatever. That's never been the thing. There's a lot of stuff that's happening, and we have decided as a group that obviously it was in our best intention to leave FaZe Clan.
FaZe Clan, once one of the most recognizable names in gaming and content creation, suddenly found itself at a crossroads in late December 2025. Over the span of just a few days, a wave of high-profile departures left fans scratching their heads and wondering what's actually happening behind the scenes.
All of the content creators from FaZe have left the org. Like Ronaldo, I think Jason, Lacy, Silky, Adapt has left FaZe. FaZe Rug might also left. So all these people are leaving the org, right? Now, I'm going to tell you why are they all leaving the org. Straight up, it's probably because you don't need the org.
The first big shock came on Christmas Day, when several major creators abruptly announced their exits. Longtime faces like Adapt, JasonTheWeen, StableRonaldo, Silky, and Lacy all posted simple left FaZe Clan statements on social platforms, signaling they were done with the organization. But that was just the start. In the days that followed, even more members walked away. Founding and veteran personalities like FaZe Rug, Apex, Rug, Swag, Replays, and Kazan also announced their departures, adding to the sense that something major was unraveling. By the end of the exodus, only a handful of creators, like Zuma, Jev, and Scope, remained officially tied to the brand. FaZe Banks also broke his silence amid the fallout, and his response added another layer to the situation.
None of them could ever dispute the fact. Max just said it himself on his stream. Joining FaZe was one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. I've heard that from Lacy, I've heard it from Silky, I've heard it from Jason, I've heard it from Ron, I've heard it from Adapt, I've heard it from every single person that's ever joined FaZe. And I'm here to tell you, as former FaZe Banks, this was one of the worst decisions I've ever made in my entire life. I gave up my entire adult life to this. I have put myself in millions and millions and millions of dollars in debt. I have never made not one singular dollar outside of my salary via FaZe. Not selling it, not buying it, raising money. I've just put myself further and further in debt.
He said that many of the creators who are now leaving were given significant support early on, including housing that he personally paid for. Things escalated further when Banks directly addressed former member PlaqueBoyMax.
I just watched some clips from this PlaqueBoyMax stream where he's playing a laugh track over my tweet. Max, I know we've had like our individual differences, and I know I haven't really seen eye to eye with a lot of the talent because truthfully and honestly, I find you guys all to be incredibly ungrateful. I find you guys all to have insane egos, and I think it's disgusting and makes me sick to my stomach that your guys' relationships with each other and with every other streamer, and your community included, is so incredibly fake. You guys are the best actors on planet Earth, and you've made a complete career out of all of it. Max, these are your boys, but these are the same guys that said they fucking hated your guts after you left. You think you're Travis Scott and this and that, and also like Max, multiple conversations about how Ron's content's cringe and you guys didn't fuck with Adapt. None of you guys fucked with Lacy or Jason in the beginning. You guys didn't want these guys to live anywhere near you. You barely wanted to share a brand with them. But FaZe was gonna fund a Miami house for you, Rage, Silky, and Kason, so fuck it. We'll take what we can get.
PlaqueBoyMax responded by saying he had actually left FaZe months earlier due to unresolved ownership and control issues after a sponsorship deal collapsed, and denied Banks' version of events. So why did this happen so fast? There's no single public explanation that ties it all together, but multiple reports point to contract negotiation breakdowns with FaZe's new management. In some reports, creators felt they were being asked to surrender a significant cut of their earnings or sign under terms that didn't make sense for them, leading to a collective decision to move on. FaZe itself acknowledged the departures publicly, calling the moment heartbreaking.
The offer was for 20%. So that's the offer. Yeah, with no ownership. The problem is that deal would have worked on basically every single creator who just left FaZe in April of 2024. They are now individually 5, 10, 20x as large as creators. So there's just no reason for them to be individually giving up that much percentage. So the only reason to have stayed in FaZe, which even this reason has not worked, would be loyalty. And when FaZe Rug, FaZe Adapt, FaZe Apex all leave, loyalty won't blind you enough to ignore the numbers.
Taken together, this mass walkout isn't just a few personalities choosing independence, it's a sign of deeper turmoil within one of gaming's highest profile brands. After a series of roster shakeups, a public reboot in 2024, and changing internal leadership, FaZe Clan now faces an identity crisis. It must decide whether to rebuild around new goals, or accept that the era of being a creator-driven collective, at least in its old form, may truly be over.
I was on some shit like, damn, like, am I really gonna leave? Am I gonna stay? At the end of the day, I fuck with these niggas, but we don't own this shit. We don't, and we don't have control over our careers.
And if you're curious about the stories behind other streamers, head to slotstreamers.bio for deeper profiles and the drama that keeps viewers coming back.